Madam, this your daughter will die in 3 days. It was just revealed to me now.
What? Pastor, please help me. What should I do?
Bring that new car your husband bought for you. Use it and sow a seed. You have just today to give it to the church. Then with just one prayer, your daughter will be alive, strong and healthy.
It started after Anna's mother, Rebecca, followed her friend to a newly opened church near their house. But just midway in the church prayer, the pastor called out Rebecca and told her to come out with her little daughter Anna into his office. He looked at them carefully in a way that made Rebecca scared. Madam, this your daughter will die in 3 days. It was just revealed to me now, he said, his voice cold. What? Pastor, please help me. What should I do? Rebecca begged, trembling. He looked at her again and saw she really believed him and was scared. Bring that new car your husband bought for you, he said. Use it and sow a seed. You have just today to give it to the church. Then with just one prayer, your daughter will be alive, strong and healthy. Rebecca stood up immediately and rushed home. She grabbed the new car her husband Richard had bought for her and drove straight to the church. Without thinking twice, she handed the key over to the pastor. Very good, he said, placing his hands on Anna's head and murmuring fake prayers. When Richard got home that night and heard what happened, he was furious. He stormed to the church with his wife and daughter. Richard demanded the keys back, saying he didn't believe in such useless prophecies. He drove home with the car, warning Rebecca never to step foot in that church again. The pastor was infuriated. I will teach you a lesson for messing with me, he muttered. He made a call. Get ready. They're on their way home. Follow our plan strictly. No mistakes, he ordered. As Richard and his family drove home, an old woman suddenly blocked the road. Richard could not brake in time and the car hit her lightly. He rushed to her side, begging her to be okay. Mama, why did you stand in the middle of the road? Let me take you to the hospital, he said. Yes, Rebecca agreed. But the old woman pleaded. Please, just take me to your house. I will stay for just 3 days. I don't want to go to the hospital. After much thought, they agreed and took her home. That night, something shocking happened. The old woman refused to use the toilet. She asked for a bucket. But why, Mama? Rebecca asked, confused. Please, I need a bucket to urinate, she insisted. Rebecca gave her a bucket, still unsure. The old woman pretended to flush it, but secretly hid her urine in a corner of the room, waiting for the next day. Then came the morning that changed everything. It was a Saturday morning. Richard went to work, and Rebecca was about to go to the market with her daughter. But the old woman begged Rebecca to leave Anna with her. Please, I will be lonely if I am alone, please, she said. Rebecca, feeling it would be fine, agreed. She left, and the old woman took Anna to her room. She quickly brought out the bucket containing her urine, scooped some with a glass cup, and turned to Anna with an evil smile. Take, my dear, and drink. I will give you biscuit, the 80-year-old woman said to little Anna. But Grandma, it is smelling, little Anna said, shaking her head. Oh no, how do I make this stupid girl drink this urine before her mom comes back, she muttered. The pastor gave me just 3 days to do this. I have to think of something. Just as the old woman was about to put some of the liquid into Anna, her phone suddenly rang. She froze. Her heart jumped, but when she checked the screen, she smiled. It was the pastor. She quickly picked the call. Hello, Pastor, she whispered. Everything is going as planned. I made them take me to their house last night. They both went out today. I am alone with their daughter. I am about to give her the urine as you instructed. Very good, the pastor said from the other end. Richard thinks he is smart. He thinks he can collect back the car his wife used to sow seed. I will teach him a lesson. The old woman nodded, even though he couldn't see her. By the time you give Anna the urine for 3 days, the pastor continued, she won't be normal again. Then it will look like my prophecy was right. Yes, the old woman replied excitedly. Then he will foolishly come back to you for healing. Exactly, the pastor said. They both laughed quietly, their laughter filled with wicked joy. Meanwhile, at the market, Rebecca was arranging goods in her shop when something suddenly crossed her mind. My phone, she gasped. I forgot my phone at home. She needed it urgently for transfer. Without wasting time, she locked her shop and rushed back home, her heart beating fast for no reason she couldn't explain. Back at home, the old woman ended the call and slipped her phone into her wrapper. Anna, come, she said, forcing another smile. Take it, just small, okay? She raised the cup again and moved closer to Anna's mouth. Anna tried to pull back because of the smell, but the old woman held her firmly. Just small, she whispered. At that same moment, Rebecca, Anna's mother, reached the gate. She was breathing heavily as she pushed it open.
Just then, the door burst open. It was Rebecca, Anna's mother. But before Rebecca could step fully inside the room, Anna had already finished drinking the urine. She stood there innocently, holding the empty cup in her small hands. Rebecca froze. What are you giving my daughter? She asked sharply, her eyes moving from Anna to the old woman. The old woman quickly forced a smile. It is water, she said calmly. Right, Anna? Anna nodded. Yes, Mommy, it's water. Earlier, the old woman had warned Anna not to tell her mother the truth if she wanted to get the toy. Anna, being too young to understand, obeyed. Rebecca felt uneasy because of the yellow color in the cup, but she brushed the feeling aside. She trusted her daughter that she won't lie to her, and also trusted the old woman she just brought into her house last night and believed nothing bad could happen. But that night, something terrible happened. Anna began to cry uncontrollably. Her stomach started getting bigger and bigger right before their eyes. Rebecca screamed in fear. Richard, something is wrong with Anna! Out of fear, Rebecca and her husband Richard rushed their daughter to the hospital. Back at home, the old woman sat alone and laughed loudly. She picked up her phone and called Pastor Prosper. I gave her the urine as you instructed, she said happily. They are rushing her to the hospital because her stomach is swelling. Ha ha ha, the pastor laughed wickedly. It is time for plan B. She won't survive it. At the hospital, doctors ran several tests. They checked Anna's blood, stomach, and organs, but they couldn't find anything wrong. They gave her drugs. Nothing worked. After hours of confusion, the doctor called Richard aside. Sir, the doctor said seriously, we can't see anything medically wrong. You may need to take her to a spiritual doctor. Rebecca broke down immediately. Richard, have you seen what you caused? She cried bitterly. Pastor Prosper warned us that our baby would die. He asked for a new car to pray for Anna and you refused. She pointed at their daughter whose stomach was still growing. Can't you see his prophecy is working? He is a real man of God. He is the only one who can save our child. Richard felt his world spinning. Tears filled his eyes as he watched his little daughter struggle in pain. Fear took over his heart. Without thinking twice, he carried Anna, helped his wife into the car, and drove straight to the pastor's house. The pastor welcomed them with a sad face. I warned you earlier, he sighed, but you did not listen. Please, Pastor, Richard cried, falling to his knees. I will give you the car. Just save my daughter. The pastor shook his head. No, he said coldly. Until you give me 100 million naira, I won't help her. She will die in 3 days. Please, Pastor, Richard begged. I don't have that kind of money. Even if I sell everything I own, it won't be enough. That is your business, the pastor replied. Then watch your daughter die by this time tomorrow. He turned and walked away, leaving them shattered. Meanwhile, inside his room, the pastor picked up his phone and called the old woman. Everything is going as planned, he said with a smile. I paid that old woman to make your daughter drink her urine. You refuse to sow your seed. This is the punishment, the evil pastor said in his mind, making sure Richard didn't hear him. I will not heal your daughter until you give me 50 million naira, the evil pastor said to Richard with a serious face. Richard knelt and held the pastor's knees.
Please give me and my wife some time. I will sell my house and my car. I will borrow from friends. Please, sir, just pray for her and heal her. I will pay you." The pastor stared at him coldly. "If you don't bring the money this night, you will watch your daughter die in front of you," the pastor said and left. Inside his room, the pastor laughed wickedly. "Fool," he murmured. "He doesn't know I'm the one that made their daughter sick. I paid that old woman to make their daughter drink her urine. You refused to sow your seed. This is the punishment." He smiled darkly. "I will take the money and your daughter will still die today." Immediately they left the pastor's house. Richard and Rebecca rushed out, desperate and confused. They began searching for buyers to buy their house. Richard handed over his house papers. The house he bought for 70 million naira was sold almost for nothing. He also sold his car. He borrowed money from friends, begging and crying. Every minute, their little daughter's stomach kept swelling and shrinking strangely. She cried in pain, calling her mother weakly. Rebecca held her tight, shaking. The old woman sat quietly in the corner, pretending to be worried. "Don't worry," she said softly. "Once you give the pastor the money and he prays for your daughter, she will be fine." Richard looked at his daughter. Her stomach suddenly swelled again before his eyes. Tears rolled down his face. Without saying a word, he packed the money into a bag and stood up. "I'm going to the pastor's house," he said weakly. He took one last look at Anna, then turned and rushed out, his heart full of fear. As he walked toward the pastor's office, he noticed the door was slightly open. He was about to knock when he suddenly heard the pastor's voice. No mistake at all," the pastor said on the phone. "I told you, once the girl drinks the urine, the sickness will come. Then the foolish man will run back to me. He doesn't know I was the one that made his daughter sick." Richard froze. His legs became weak. The pastor disconnected and continued. "That old woman did exactly what I wanted. By now, the girl's condition should be worse." Richard's eyes widened in shock. With shaking hands, he quietly brought out his phone and recorded. Tears ran down his face as he recorded every word. He pushed the door open and walked in. The pastor screamed in shock. How long were you standing there?" he stammered. Richard didn't answer. He turned and walked straight to the police station. Within hours, the police stormed the pastor's house and arrested him. They also went straight to Richard's house and arrested the old woman. At the police station, the pastor broke down. He confessed everything. He explained how he sent the old woman to block Richard's car, how he paid her to stay in their house, and how she was instructed to make Anna drink her urine so that his prophecy would look true. The old woman also confessed, crying. "I was paid. I didn't know the child would suffer like this." Meanwhile, at the hospital, Anna's condition became worse. Despite all efforts, the little girl stopped breathing. Anna died. When Richard received the call, he collapsed on the floor. He cried like a child. He blamed himself. He blamed his wife. "I warned you," he cried bitterly. "I told you to stop running to fake churches for prayers." Rebecca screamed and fainted. The pastor and the old woman were later charged and sent to prison. But the damage had already been done. A child was gone. A family was destroyed. And Richard learned the hardest lesson of his life. Blind faith can kill. If this story interests you, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow, like, comment, and share, and tell me what you learned from this story in the comment section. Thank you for watching.